Adam has a great question this week about AI, especially with regards to science fiction. With the stereotypical story where AI gets so smart it kind of takes over the world and starts killing people. And should we be scared? Well, I'm not scared. I'm a big fan of AI. I'm a supporter of AI. I think we should put more money into developing it, and I'm a big fan of AI in science fiction.
Difference between 60 seconds.
Although when it comes to artificial intelligence in fiction, I'm not so much a fan of the stories where the AI turns against us, though I am a fan of that. But I'm more of a fan of a story of what happens when we turn against it. In other words, the stories where the AI gets so intelligent that it becomes sentient, essentially has the equivalent of a human-like consciousness. And we can say that it's alive, just like us. And then the ethical question is unplugging it or erasing its memory, essentially murder. See, those are the really good stories. The other ones actually, I think, predate AI. They go back to like the old, kind of like the Frankenstein monster type science fiction stories, where someone creates a monster, with all the best intentions, and it goes wild. But no, those are good too. But the ethical ones about, at what point does a machine become a being with rights? Now that's good stuff. I don't know if intelligence is enough to do it, because I think it's really emotions. It's that gives you. How do I? How to explain it? Well, here, this book I've been reading. It's called The Emotion Machine by Marvin Minsky. He's one of the pioneers in the field of AI, and in this book, which I'm only about a third or quarter of the way through, so far the emotion machine that he's talking about is not a wires and bolts silicon machine, but this emotion machine. But he's explaining kind of like the process, the psychology of how we learn as children and how we make decisions, and like a computer scientist would, with flow charts and Venn diagrams, and it's a fun read. But I'm assuming, I don't know yet for sure, but I'm assuming that towards the end of the book, he's going to get to how that might apply to building AI that really kind of thinks like a person, and I think that's the key. That's what really makes it wrong. I mean, I think a machine can be as intelligent as possible, do all these calculations, but if it doesn't have feelings, if it doesn't have emotions, I think it can't even have a sense of self. I think that follows from the emotions. And back to Adam's original scenario of the machine that turns against us. I think often a lot of those stories, they even have, whether intentionally or unintentionally, have that theme also built into it. In that this intelligent machine that they build up that turns against us, oftentimes, although not always in these stories, but oftentimes it doesn't have the emotions that we do. So it's more kind of like a HAL type machine, where it gets programmed. The scientists program it with kind of like an ethical code, maybe something like utilitarian ethics, which It just needs to do calculations, which is what machines excel at. But ultimately, it, you know, because it doesn't have these feelings, it starts making bad decisions, and it, you know, some things that weren't foreseen by the programmers, or things that you just need to have feelings to distinguish right from wrong. So you might have a situation where, you know, the machine does a calculation, you know, seeing all this bad stuff going on and saying, you know, well, these humans, for their own good, we need to exterminate all the politicians, or all the business owners, or all the drug users, or all of humanity. I don't know. It's a fun topic, but I think the good thing, and another reason I'm a big supporter of AI, is that all the scientists, or at least most of the scientists that work on AI, are also big fans of sci-fi, of science fiction, and some of them even write it. So they're all aware of these stories, these dilemmas, and that actually influences their science. So AI, thumbs up.